Hi everyone, welcome to the second week of term. It's not the most wonderful of days today, is it? So that's the background that I've chosen looks about right. It's still pretty wintry, pretty chilly, but a warm welcome to the week ahead. And the first thing I really wanted to say was a big well done, actually. So we had a session, of staff last week from one of our pro vice chancellors, Parveen Yaqub, and she spent quite a bit of time talking about how last term went in terms of dealing with the second lockdown and the various different restrictions that were in place at different points during the term, dealing with teaching in a socially distanced, COVID compliant way, and all the other things that we do as a university and how we did them in the context of a lot of news about university outbreaks in Manchester and other parts of the country. And we managed to do really well here in Reading, and that in no small part and fundamentally in the most part is down to you guys. And as a result, it became a non-story towards the end of term, towards Christmas. The newspapers didn't care anymore about student outbreaks because they were a non-story, because actually you guys were doing a bloody good job at everything that was being thrown at you. And so there was an ONS survey out just before Christmas detailing various aspects of the student experience that you've had during COVID-19, which is better than the general public at all sorts of things in terms of social distancing, in terms of following the various restrictions put in place by the government over the last 9 months now. So a really big well done and a bit of recognition, because it's become a non-story in the media, so you've not heard much about it, but we fully appreciate that here in Reading. You helped us to have essentially no outbreak here, really tiny numbers of COVID cases compared to comparable universities in the south of England. It wasn't because there was no COVID around in the south, because you guys are coming from all around the country and coming to Reading. And for other universities in the south, there were much larger outbreaks. So the main thing to say is really big, well done. But I also want to say that I'm well aware that it's getting harder and harder all the time. Each week gets harder and harder because there's just so little that you can do. There's so little break from it. It's relentless, and it's not uplifting news. So if you are feeling particularly stressed, particularly upset, particularly just wherever you are in relation to COVID, to everything that's going on, please keep in touch. Please don't keep it to yourself. Don't bottle these kinds of things up. You're dealing with a global pandemic. Most people have never had to do that. I've never had to do that before in my life, and I've reached a particular age before dealing with a global pandemic. It's not straightforward. It does weird things to you. It's a highly pressured time already, the age that you guys are all at. And have a global pandemic on top of that whilst you're doing your university degree, it's not trivial. Okay, it's not something that you should be coping with, because not everybody is able to, and it's by no means some kind of mark of honor, badge of shame, whatever. The main thing is, if you're not feeling great, if you're worried, if you're stressed, whatever you're feeling, please do get in touch. Chat with your mates, be it your flatmates, housemates, be it your other mates, be it your friends from back home, whoever it is that you can talk to, go and talk to them. And if it's someone at the university, please do that. You've got an academic tutor. You're welcome to get in touch with me in the Carrington building via the Essentials website. There's loads of resources, and trust me, they are there for you. And when I say, lots of people are going through this, it isn't to an instance trivialize the way in which you might be feeling at the moment. It's by no means trivial. Or something to be dismissed because lots of other people might be feeling the same thing. If you're in any way feeling stressed, worried, concerned, just generally uneasy, unhappy, get in touch. Please do get in touch. What else do I want to say? I want to say a quick well done to Professor Marina Della Giusta. So hopefully you'll all be familiar with her. She has been doing microeconomics for a number of years now in Part 1. Well, this year is Marina's 21st year at the university, and she won't appreciate anybody telling her that. Nonetheless, it's a fantastic achievement, and it's a fantastic amount of service that she has given to this university. We've been very, very fortunate to have Marina over a very long period of time. She was the head of department between 2013 and 2016. She did a PhD here before she began as a staff member in the year 2000, and she's done all sorts of other roles within the department over that time. She's been a fantastic servant. She's been a great friend to many staff and to many students as well. Lots of our alumni come back and they remember the role that Marina played during their time with us. She's a fantastic resource for us, and we're delighted to have her. We're delighted to thank her for her 21 years of service to our Department of Economics. The other nice thing is that we're going to restart conversations this week. This is something that we do every term. This is another third term in which we've had to do it virtually rather than physically because of the pandemic. But nonetheless, we'll still do it. We'll still meet on Teams, and we'll meet this week on a Friday, and this term on a Friday. That's the most clear time when we can meet. It's not going to suit all of you, and I'm really sorry. But we'll meet on a Friday, and we'll meet to talk about the world's events, all the crazy stuff that's going on. We've got this week, we've got the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden in America, and the potential for violence and disturbances in this handover of power from Donald Trump. We've got Brexit continuing to play out at our ports, and there are increasing rumbles of discontent, firms trying to export and finding it very difficult. And then, if there's nothing else to think about, of course, we've got COVID-19, this wave with our hospitals, by all accounts, at absolute breaking point. And the email I mentioned that, according to the data from last week, the Royal Berks Hospital, just down from the university, half of all beds are occupied now by COVID patients. And so that's an incredibly difficult time for our hospitals, an incredibly worrying time. Cases are coming down, but those cases are still converting into hospitalizations, and there are still over 40,000 cases a day reported even over the weekend. So these are still difficult times. But what does it all mean? We've got a vaccine on the way, but what does all this mean as the UK economy hopefully returns to something of a bit more of a normal footing in the coming weeks and months? What does it all mean? How can we cope with all this stuff going on and think about the economy? So let's spend an hour on Friday thinking a little bit about all of this from the perspective of economists. Join us. There are no silly questions. All questions are silly questions because we're just trying to think about how we process and make sense of it all as economists. And so that's all I'm going to say. Have a read of the email if you haven't already, and please do have a great week, and please do keep in touch with us.